afraid that after you've done this wonderful thing for them without making a single mistake, they just sat there and never said a word to you, never petted you, or admired you, or told you how splendid you'd been?
Not a word. They just said they're congratulating each other on how marvellous they'd been, and the next moment on how glad they were it was all over, and what a bore it had all been.
This is simply appalling. I should not have thrown my slippers at him. I should have thrown the fire irons.
What's that?
Henry, I knew it wouldn't be too long. Now, remember, you not only danced with a prince last night, you behaved like a princess.
Well, the most confounded thing, do you? You?
Good afternoon, Professor Higgins. Are you quite well?
Am I?
Of course you are. You are never ill. Would you care for some tea?
Don't you dare try that game on me. I taught it to you. Now you get up and come home and stop being a fool. You've caused me enough trouble for one morning.
Very nicely put indeed, Henry. No woman could resist such an invitation.
How did this baggage get here in the first place?
Eliza came to see me this morning, and I was delighted to have her. And if you don't promise to behave yourself, I must ask you to leave.
What do you mean to say I'm to put on my Sunday manners for this thing that I created out of the squashed cabbage leaves of Covent Garden?
That's precisely what I mean.
And I'll see her damned first.
However did you learn good manners with my son around?
It was very difficult. I should never have known how ladies and gentlemen behave if it hadn't been for Colonel Pickering. He always showed me that he felt and thought about me as if I was something better than a common flower girl. You see, Mrs. Higgins, apart from the things one can pick up, the difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she is treated. I shall always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins because he always treats me as a flower girl and always will. But I know I shall always be a lady to Colonel Pickering because he always treats me as a lady and always will.
Henry, don't grind your teeth.
The bishop is here, madam. Shall I show him into the garden?
The bishop and the professor? Good heavens, no. I shall be excommunicated. I'll see him in the library. Eliza, if my son starts breaking up things, I give you full permission to have him evicted. Henry, dear, I suggest you stick to two subjects, the weather and your health.
Well, you've had a bit of your own back, as you call it. Have you had enough, and are you going to be reasonable, or do you want any more?
You want me back only to pick up your slippers and put up with your tempers and fetch and carry for you.
No, I didn't say I wanted you back at all.
Oh, indeed. Then what are we talking about?
Well, about you, not about me. If you come back, you'll be treated as you've always been treated. I can't change my nature. I don't intend to change my manners. My manners are exactly the same as Colonel Pickering.
That's not true. He treats a flower girl as if she were a duchess.
Well, I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl.
Oh, I see. The same to everybody.
Just so. You see, the great secret, Eliza, is not a question of good manners or bad manners or any particular sort of manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. The question is not whether I treat you rudely, but whether you've ever heard me treat anyone else better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind your swearing at me. I shouldn't mind a black eye. I've had one before this. But I won't be passed over.
Well, then get out of my way, for I won't stop for you. You talk about me as though I was a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus, all bounce and go and no consideration for anybody. But I can get along without you. Don't you think I can't?
I know you can. I told you you could. You've never wondered, I suppose, whether I could get along without you.
Don't you try to get around me. You'll have to.
So I can, without you or any soul on earth. I shall miss you, Eliza. I've learnt something from your idiotic notions. I confess that, humbly and gratefully.
Well, you have my voice on your gramophone. When you feel lonely without me, you can turn it on. It has no feelings to hurt.
Well, I can't turn your soul on.
Ooh,